Today is December 29th, 2021, and it is 7:44 a.m. And I am here at the water. Okay, let's do a quick check, quick surrounding check, okay? She is moving this morning. She's flowing this morning. Like, she got something to say this morning on this water, okay? Birds are flying. Oh, wait, where are they? Where are they? Oh, okay, there they are. I was gonna say, what? How can I not capture the birds? Um, but yeah, so I have been MIA for about like a day or two, but listen, I've been really just like, okay, in prayer and just surrounded by his presence and just engulfed in his glory, okay? And I wasn't even gonna go live today. I was not. But as I was driving here to come to the water, I just felt like, no, you need to jump on real quick and just say this before you start your journey and speaking to me and really going into this deep prayer this morning and reading my word, right? So and I want to say welcome to all the new subscribers. Welcome. Listen, I woke up this morning at about like 5 a.m. and as I was sitting out on my mom's balcony and just in prayer and just reading his word, right? I happened to just go on YouTube and look. I don't know what prompted me, but I just happened to go in there and looked and seen, y'all, that we are at 165 subscribers. Let me tell you, and I was so excited for the new people who has joined this family, Life with Purpose. Like, I'm telling you, it was like I'm telling you, I celebrate each and every new subscriber that comes on this channel. Like, I don't care if it gets to the point and I have over 1 million subscribers. Like, I'm going to be grateful and thankful for every single soul and just know that this is not a regular, ordinary channel. Like, I am really out here in these streets interceding for y'all. I'm praying for y'all. I'm fasting for y'all. Like, it's not just like a regular, oh, great, I got a channel. That's fantastic. No, like, the Father has really raised me up for a time such as this to really just stand in the gap for y'all, to really just be praying for y'all. And I don't even know every single person's story, you know. I don't know every single thing that everybody that is connected to the channel is going through, but guess what? The Father knows. The Father knows, and he is sure to deliver, okay? He is sure to come and be like, listen, speak about this, daughter. We're going to talk about this. We're going to touch on this topic. We're going to speak about, because he knows what y'all are going through when I don't. I couldn't have a clue. Like, I've never met any of you guys face to face. I don't have the privilege of knowing unless he shows me what's going on in your personal lives, right? So it's just like he's just showing up and showing out on this channel. And I hope everybody has been reading their Deuteronomy 28, 1 through 14, because I know I have, okay? And we had said a couple of days ago on one of my previous videos that we was going to begin reading Deuteronomy 28, 1 through 14 for the next 28 days because the Father is showing up, okay? And so I've been doing that. I've been waking up. I've been diligent. Not only have I been reading Deuteronomy 28, and I've been faithful to that every day, sometimes more than once a day, but he's put other scriptures on my heart to read as well. So it's like I'm just flowing, y'all. I'm just flowing. Like, whatever he's telling me to do, I'm just doing it. He's saying, read that. Okay, Father, I'm over here and reading that. Read this. Okay, I'm over here and reading this chapter. Like, what's next? What you got for me? Like, I don't have time to be playing around no more. I feel like I've wasted so much of my time being in my own way, because it's like I've been trying to like make things happen for myself, right? Like trying to force his hand. Like, it's because and it's hard because sometimes when you're a visionary and when you see things before they happen, it's like you want to hurry up and be in that moment, right? And it's like when you see it, you just like, well, let me go, do this. Let me force this. Let me make this happen. Let me move that out the way. And you just like, never mind, Father, what you talking about? You showed me the vision and I'm running with it, okay? And we only cause a disservice to ourselves when we do that. And we only cause our own heartache, our own pain, because we got to wait. We got to wait. And everything that he shows you, and I had to learn this the hard way too, but and everything that he shows you, you have to wait and you have to be patient, and you have to take it to him in prayer, and you have to ask, when is the time? When is the moment? If this is even from him, because, just like he could give us dreams, sometimes dreams can come from the opposing party also. So you have to be aware of where it's coming from. Okay. And then once he makes you aware of if he confirms it's him or not, then you have to become to know when is the time, right? Because it's not always the time to just quick and up and run and do things. Like, it's a time for everything. For everything, there's an appointed time. So we can't just be fast to just make decisions. And when we do that, we cause ourselves a lot of trouble, a lot of heartache, and a lot of pain, because we just like quick to make. It's a microwave world for us, right? We just instantly we making decisions without first consulting him, without first taking it in prayer, without first waiting for revelation, without first waiting for a dream or a vision or confirmation. Like, when we get something inside ourselves, or when he puts something, places something in your mind, you just run with it, right? No wait for the bell to ring, no wait for the horn to sound, no wait for the chauffeur, but you just run for that thing, right? And he's saying, because that is when you cause yourself the most trouble. Like, just learn to wait, learn to be patient, and he's going to bring it to you in its due time, in its time of season, in its appointed moment that he has already created. He is going to bring you to it. And I don't even know why I'm speaking this right now. Like, this is a word for somebody on this morning, because I didn't even come over here on here to talk about that. I came to talk about a dream that he gave me. Okay. So the dream that he gave me, that was a word for somebody though. But a dream that he gave me last night as I was sleeping was my friend, she was in the dream, and I was kind of like standing back in the dream watching, and it was like a group of people, and they walked into the room, and they all just admiring her body, and they're like, oh my gosh, your hips are so nice, your butt is so nice, this is so nice, that's so nice, like just complimenting her and just loving on her body, right? And they're just like really like amazed, like, wow, like, and they're asking her questions like, oh, would you make your waist smaller? I think it's perfect, but would you make it smaller? Would you do this differently to your body? Would you do that differently to your body? But it's perfect the way it is, right? And so in the dream, she's like listening to the compliments that they're giving her concerning her body. But in her mind, I can see that she's saying, but I don't like this, but I have this scar. And she even at one point in the dream spoke out and was like, oh, but I have, scars here. I don't know what just happened, but it just totally like kicked me off. Okay. But so she was like basically pointing out all the wrongs that she's seen within herself, all the imperfections that she felt she's seen within her body. She was vocalizing it. All right, to some extent. It wasn't like overboard, like I'm just completely busted and ugly, but she was pointing out a lot of imperfections that she's seen within herself. And when I woke up from the dream, the Father was like, you are perfect. Okay, you are perfect. Like, just in a dream, when everybody was complimenting her and loving her body and just telling her how beautiful she was, inside of herself she just felt the ugliness she seen. It was like she could only think of all the ugly things about herself. She wasn't accepting the beauty. Okay, and it was like other people seeing her her beauty, but she couldn't even see her own beauty because she was so blinded and so focused on her imperfections that she felt she had, right? And the Father is saying, I created you perfect, okay? Your body is perfect just the way it is. If you want to make some adjustments or some enhancements for your own satisfaction, all right, cool, but don't overdo it. Right? Don't overdo it, because you are beautiful just the way you are. You are beautiful just the way you are. You don't have to go overboard with trying to correct your nose and fix your mouth and make your lips look a certain way and your cheekbones to be, of a certain caliber. And you don't got to be worried about these big boobs and booties and all of these things that we are beginning to idolize these days, right? And he's saying you don't have to do those things because I made you perfect. I made you perfect. So if you want to go and you want to do a few things to make yourself feel better, cool. Okay. But don't go overboard with it. Don't go overboard. Don't get caught up in that rat race of feeling that you have to be perfect. You have to be this perfect image. You got to be this Barbie doll, right? You got to have this perfect body. Like, that's just not reality. That's not reality. And when you begin to idolize your body in that way, right? Because when you think of people who's addicted to plastic surgery and things of that nature, they begin to idolize plastic surgery. Like it begins to engulf them, overtake them. Like, and it's like the more work they get, the more imperfect they feel. The more work they get, the more depressed they feel. The more work they get, the more inadequate they feel. Right? The more work they get, the more they cry. And they wondering like, why am I constantly getting all of this work done to my body? And my goal ultimately is to feel better about myself. But yet here I am struggling with my self-identity. Here I am still feeling ugly. Here I am still feeling defeated. Here I am still feeling destroyed. And he's saying, because you are focusing on your own self, you're idolizing your own self instead of looking to me. Right? Instead of looking to me and know that I hold the secrets of life. I hold the key to life. Right? I hold the key to life. I know you. I knew you before I fashioned you and formed you in your mother's womb. I knew you. I seen you. Your soul, your spirit, and it is beautiful. He said, I know everything about you. I know every good thing about you. I know every bad thing about you. And guess what? I still love you. Guess what? You're still beautiful. Guess what? You're still perfect in my eyes. And guess what? I'm going to still use you. I'm going to still raise you up. Right? I'm going to still restore you no matter how broken and busted and disgusted and defeated you feel. He's still going to use you for his purpose. He's still going to use you for his glory. He's still going to use you in his appointed time, in his appointed moment. And guess what? There's nothing you can do about it. When he stands up and he says, enough is enough, and child, it's time for you to perform. It's time for you to stand up. It's time for you to step out. It's time for you to do this work that I've placed in you. There is nothing that no one, you, nor any person, place, or thing is going to change what his word is, because when he sends his word out forth into this universe, it will not return to him void. Imagine if he would have sent his word, let there be light, and it's still darkness, and we still sitting here trying to figure out, Father, there ain't no sun, ain't no moon. Like, we just in pure darkness out here in this world, on this earth. What happened? Right? Like, when he sends his word out, it does not return to him void. Right? When he set the expanse of the sky, when he created the ocean and caused it to stay exactly where it is, right? And then when he separated the ocean from the earth, and he have dry land, the dry land and the ocean, they don't meet, right? Unless it's appointed time to, like, unless it's clashing, it's causing some disaster, because he does that. He uses his this world and the things he created for his purpose. So sometimes it is two Siamese and things like that the water will intermingle with the earth. But other than that, it is kept separate, right? The water stays where it's at. It minds its business, right? Just as I'm sitting here right now. Look at that. Perfect example. The water's where it's at, minding its business. I'm here on dry land where I'm at, minding my business, right? And it's because the Father spoke, and he said, water, stay right there. Don't come no further. Don't come no further. Stay right where you are. And guess what? The water listens. It obeyed him. And it stands, it flows, it moves, it does what it needs to do. It feeds the fish and it cultivates the earth, and it does what it has to do. But guess what? It stays where it's supposed to stay. It's not disobedient to what it is that he's telling it to do. Unless he says move onto that earth, then that water will move onto that earth. But when he says stay, guess what? That water is going to stay right there. I can have confidence. I can rest assured that I can sit here where I'm sitting on this bench, right? In this seat, and know that the water is not going to come over here by me, because he has called it to stay. He has called it to stand right where it's at and not to come any further. And it's listening. It's listening, right? And it's just like when you have an animal and you train that dog up, or whatever, cat or whatever, monkey, whatever it is, right? And you training it, and you tell it, sit right there or lay down. Right? And that animal listens to you. It obeys your voice. It hears your voice, your command, and it stands and it stays and it sits. Right? And it does what it is that you're telling it to do. When you have a child and you're raising that child up, right? And the child is running around and, just doing craziness, and you're like, sit down. Right? And that child obeys you, and that child has a seat. That child hears your voice. That child responds to your command, because you have trained it to hear from you. You have trained it to listen to you, right? You have trained it to obey the commands that you give it. And that's what the Father is doing in this moment with us. He's training us. And I'm going on another tangent. I feel it coming. But he's training us to and raising us up to listen to his command, to hear his voice, to know when it is that he's speaking, and to separate it and differentiate it, him from outside voices, right? His voice from the enemy's voice, his voice from negative spirits, his voice from negative energy, his voice from negative people, his voice. You're going to begin to have an enhanced sense of his voice. And it's like he's tuning out, because it's like in life we hear many different voices, okay? It's his voice, it's her voice, it's his voice, it's the kid's voice, the animals, the voice, the plane's voice, whatever voice. Like, it's so much going on in this universe. But yet and still, he is getting you to a place of silence. He's getting you into a place of communion with him. He's bringing you into a place of vulnerability. He's bringing you into a place of trusting in him, not wavering in that trust, standing firm on his promise, standing firm on his word. And it gets challenging at times. It gets so challenging because it's like, I know what he said to me. I know what he spoke to me. And it's just recently has been my experience of just the promises that he's given me. And it's like everything around me is happening that is like total opposite of what he told me on the outside, right? But when I close my eyes, and when I envision, and when I see, and when I remember his promises and everything that he's told me, it's direct alignment with him, right? It's direct alignment with him. But when I open my eyes, oh my gosh, it's like war. It's all hell done broke loose, okay? To the natural eye, I'm just like, what is happening? And sometimes it gets like a bit overwhelming. And sometimes you have to learn, especially when you have a gift and you're a visionary and you see things, you have to learn how to separate yourself from the world, right? Sometimes that takes being lonely. Sometimes that takes spending a lot of time in prayer. Sometimes it takes being weird to other people, right? Sometimes it takes being withdrawn. Sometimes it takes being sad, because being lonely, being withdrawn, not being around people, it's not good. That man should be alone. So it gets really sad at times. It gets depressing at times when you have to get into those moments. And it's not forever. It's not permanent. But sometimes, for a brief moment or a period of time, you have to be separated. You have to be separated from the things of this world and from what's happening. And you have to get into your spirit, man. You have to get inside of yourself. You have to close your eyes. You got to meditate on what it is, those promises that he's given you, that vision that he showed you. He's not a man that he should lie. No, he didn't lie. He's given you confirmation. He showed you. He's given you dreams. He's brung you different confirmations from the atmosphere, whether it be through the television or whether it be through the voice of someone else or whether it be through something that you see in the universe. He's bringing his signs and he's showing you, because he's not just going to give you a promise or a dream and a vision and then he doesn't give you confirmation of it, right? Sometimes, like once in a blue moon, he will. But when you pray about it and you know for sure, okay, Father, give me confirmation. He is diligent to bring you that confirmation because he wants you to know that, daughter, I know this is hard because it feel like you're talking to yourself. All right. It feel like you having a whole conversation, like you out here and she's just crazy. You just bat crazy and you just, ain't no hope for you. You need to be committed. And I know what that feels like. So I'm going to give you my confirmation. And guess what? Just recently, it's been a battle for me, right? And one particular area of my life. And I'm like, Father, I know what you spoke to me. I know what you said to me. I know what you showed me. And it's like he just kept bringing me. Even when I was just done, I was like, listen, Father, I'm done with this. It was like, even in that moment, he was like, no, bang, he caused this to happen. I could be on the internet browsing for one thing and end up on the exact thing that he gave me that he spoke to me about, right? And it's just like he does things like that, right? Or I could be on YouTube listening to, my certain YouTuber selection that I have that I listen to who feeds my spirit. And a random video would just totally pop up and just be totally and directly in alignment with what it is that he spoke to me about on the topic that I was battling. And I'm just like, oh, I got a spider web. And I'm just like, oh, it's just stuck to my face. Like, what is going on? Okay. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, like I was getting so frustrated with it even, right? Because it was like this thing that I'm pressing in the spirit for, this thing that I'm believing for, this thing that I'm trusting the Father for, this thing that I'm believing for, this thing that I'm out here, got the boxing gloves on and I'm fighting for, and I'm speaking to these dry bones, and like, I'm just really like all in on this thing, right? And it's like to the point I got one point in this battle, I was like, listen, that's it. Like, I don't want to hear it no more. I don't want to see it no more. Stop giving me dreams. Stop giving me vision. Stop giving me signs. Stop giving me wonder. Stop giving me confirmation. I don't want none of it. Take it. Keep it. All right? You and what you told me. Y'all can go. And sometimes it gets like that. Like, I'm sorry. Like, it is what it is. The Father is real. He created us. He knows. And it got real between him and I. Like, I was really like, listen, I've had it with you. All right. I'm over here and I'm doing all of this and I'm pressing and I'm praying and I'm fasting and I'm falling on my face and I'm depressed and I'm lonely and I'm sad and I'm crying and I'm experiencing all of these things. And it's like crickets in the atmosphere around me, right? Like, I'm over here warring in the spirit, y'all. Like, warring in the spirit, like really out here fighting. And it's silence all around me. Like, I open my eyes and it's like the total opposite of what he's showing me, what I'm fighting for. It's just like the total opposite. Like, as if it's never going to happen. It's never going to come to pass. Like, everything that's happening around me is like basically saying, oh, that ain't going to happen. Oh, nope. Okay. Because this over here is happening. Totally in disagreement with what you over there talking about, what you over there praying about. And I'm just like, Father, what is this? But yeah, and still he's bringing me confirmation. Nope, this is what I told you. Nope, this is what I showed you. Nope, this is the dream I gave you. Nope, nope, nope. It's like he would not let me let go of this thing even when I wanted to. Okay, even when I was like, Father, listen, I'm done. All right, I'm going to just stay right over here by my lonesome self. I am done. I don't want this thing. You can take it. You can keep it. And he said, no, I've given you a gift. I'm giving you this good thing. This is yours. You ain't gonna be no Indian giver where I give you something and you give it back. No, this is yours. I'm giving it to you. You is gonna keep this thing. Okay, you're gonna hold this thing. You're gonna fight for this thing. You're gonna cry for this thing. You're gonna pray for this thing. You're gonna fast for this thing. You're gonna stand in the gap for this thing, even when it looks like it's pure chaos around you. And let me tell y'all, and I'm speaking from experience, it is the hardest thing in the universe to be in a battle and everything that you're going through, everything on the outside is not aligning with what's on the inside. When everything on the inside of you is not aligning with what you see on the outside of you, it's hard. It is so hard. It's a challenge. It's not easy. And it is definitely, surely not for the faint of heart, because it is hard. Like, for the average person, it would probably put them in a deep depression, right? It would probably put them in a deep depression. You probably would need some mental medication. And you just wouldn't be able to function in life. You would not, because when he gives, his battles, he gives it to those that he has already equipped to handle it. So he's never going to put more on you than you can bear. So rest assured that if you're going through a fight right now, if you're going through a challenge right now, if you're going through a struggle right now, it's because he has already equipped you to be able to sustain that which he's putting you through, that test, that trial, that tribulation, whatever it is that he's molding and trying to shape in you. He's already prepared you for it. So you don't have to feel defeated, right? Because you can know that the battle has already been won, right? And he showed me confirmation of this also just recently in my life. because I'm hoping and I'm praying for something. And he led me back to a message. Um, and when as I'm reading the message, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like, it's already done. Like literally in the message, it was already done. And here I was just like, whoa, why me? Falling on the floor, snots flying, hair all wild, looking crazy, right? And he just took me back to that one moment of time. And I was just like, wow, it is already done. Like the battle is already done. And I can't wait to go into details about my testimony. But right now, I'm currently still in the fight. I'm currently still in the battle of my promises. So I can only testify to a certain extent, right? But I cannot wait for that moment when I'm on the other side completely, right? Where I'm completely through the desert, completely through the wilderness, completely out. All right, and I'm in the promised land and I'm living it and I'm flowing in it, and I could be like, listen, y'all. Now let me tell y'all. All right, let me give y'all the tea. Okay, let me give y'all the one-on-one. Let y'all know exactly what it was that I was experiencing in that moment. And I'm just awaiting eagerly, and I'm anticipating for that moment that I could just really give a full-blown testimony of everything that I'm going through right now. So right now, because I'm still going through it, it's like I'm an open book, but it's still with boundaries, right? So it's like certain things I can speak upon and certain things I can't. It's like when you in court, right? And you'll have like you'll do an interview, right? Like maybe you're doing a public interview. And as you're doing this public interview, they asking you questions concerning your court case. And it's like certain questions you can answer and other questions you can't because it's still an active and it's still an ongoing case, right? You hear that a lot on the news, like when the sergeant comes on for like a press conference or whatever, and they're questioning him, you know, about a murder or something or whatever it is that they're investigating. And he answers a few questions, but it'll come a point in time when he's like, I'm sorry, I can't answer that because it's an ongoing investigation, right? It's the same thing when you're in this faith walk. All right, I can't answer that. I can't talk about that. It's ongoing for me. It's, you know, I ain't out of it yet. It ain't been no resolution yet. It's been nothing, no clarity yet. So certain things I can't answer, certain things I can't speak upon, but that I can, I do. I do. And I hope that everything that I say and the words that I speak is always life changing for somebody. Like, you know, just like shaking your soul, just like really just making you think outside the box, making you think differently, and just allowing you to see things from a different perspective. And I'm just, you know, it was my goal to just talk real quick, but it kind of went into a little bit longer. I'm about like 20 minutes in right now. But I just wanted to get on and give that word real quick because the Father was moving me. He was like, no, you cannot let this thing go, okay? You got to let my children know that they are perfect. And you are. You are perfect. That man, you are perfect. That woman, you are perfect, okay? And when you find that spouse that you've been waiting for, they are going to be perfect for you. And I hope you guys have an amazing day, an amazing morning. And I'm going to just sit out here and continue to enjoy this water and get into my word. And until the next video, see you guys soon.